Welcome to today's webinar, where we will hear more about Metropolia University's streamlined project portfolio management with the help of Hypeen portfolios. My name is Elin Wallén, and I'm the moderator of today's session. Before we start, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that all microphones are muted, and you are very welcome to ask questions. And you can do this by using the Q&A function that you can see at the bottom of the screen. And we will answer your questions as times allow after the webinar. I would also like to start by saying that it is so great that we have so many of you with us today with a mix of customers and prospects from both sector in higher education that is listening in. With that said, I would like to introduce today's speakers, Kimmo Virta, R&D Manager at Metropolia University of Applied Science. And with me from Hypeen, I have Patrik Kjellin, Partner and Product Manager here. So I'm thinking that I'm handing over to you, Patrik. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Elin. Thank you for that introduction, and also welcome Kimmo to this webinar and to have this webinar together with us. We are very happy to have you here, and we are very, very eager to listen to your story with Metropolia University. As Elin said, my name is Patrik Kjellin. I've been at Hypeen approximately 1.5 years and working as a product and portfolio advisor, working with existing customers, but also new prospects. And today's, maybe you want to say something, Kimmo, before I move on with the agenda for the webinar.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Kimmo Virta, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share with you some of our experiences in Metropolia University of Applied Sciences regarding project portfolio management, and maybe a little bit about project management as well. It seems that at least in Finland, in the education sector, the challenges in different organizations are very similar. And perhaps this is also, what I'm going to show you may also be relevant to you. At least I hope so.
Yeah, thank you, Kimmo. I think it's going to be very relevant. I think it's a very interesting story you have to tell, both from a portfolio and project management perspectives. Really looking forward to that. So today's agenda, or at least this webinar's agenda, contains of 3 parts. I will have a short introduction about Hypeen portfolios for higher education institutions. And then, of course, the core of this webinar is the customer case with Metropolia University, where Kimmo will tell us about how Hypeen portfolios ensures effective project portfolio management. But he will also tell you how their journey went really from chaos to structure. I think that's also very interesting to listen to. So very interesting story about that. And I will end up with a short demo, live demo of the system. And here I will connect what Kimmo has talked about and show you a little bit in the live system how it actually looks like. It's not going to be Metropolia University environment, it will be my demo generic environment, but it gives you some concrete experience, at least how it looks like. All right, I will also say, I think the time schedule for the actual webinar when me and Kimmo is speaking is approximately 30-35 minutes, so it's time for Q&A afterwards. Many of you that attends today are using Hypeen, and some of you also know that last year we acquired a Finnish company called Thinking Portfolio. Thinking Portfolio is with its solution in portfolio management with the same name as the company name Thinking Portfolio is now distributed under the name Hypeen Portfolios. And Hypeen Portfolios, or Thinking Portfolio, is a Nordic leader when it comes to portfolio management, but it also has users in over 50 countries. And many Swedish organizations are already using thinking portfolio / Hypeen portfolios thanks to the inter-Nordic relationships and the company constellations between Nordic countries, especially then Finland and Sweden. That means that Hypeen as a product family has increased. So we have now 2 product categories in one integrated product platform. So we talk about Hypeen planning and Hypeen portfolios. Hypeen portfolios is focused for this session. It's a cloud-based solution for multi-portfolio management with focus on projects, strategy, resources, risks, and investments. Many of you also know that are participating today that Hypeen has a strong presence or customer base within the higher education sector. But even Hypeen portfolios is also very strong in the same sector, but in Finland, but also in the Netherlands. So, of course, we have the Metropolia University, but also University of Helsinki or Tampere University. They're all customers using Hypeen portfolios. So the question is, how are they using it? And of course, that will be something Kimmo will tell about Metropolia's usage. But before that, I will give you some introduction to that to highlight some more general or common use cases for when it comes to Hypeen portfolios for higher education institutions. We support many different project types, but very commonly research and development projects, education development projects, of course, but also internal projects. They could be managing IT projects, for example. So there's different project types that we support. And if we look into some commonly used functions or tools, of course, to have handling or management of funds, financing is an important part, but budget and other financial functions, implementation of common projects like decision models, activity and task planning, resource planning, status reporting, or time recording. These are all commonly used functions, and we will for sure listen to some of them are used also in the Metropolia University case. What is also worth to know when it comes to Hypeen portfolios for higher education is that it contains, in the background at least, of a vast amount of functions and features that is organized in what we call panels. To give you some example of that, I have actually some panels from an existing customer. So project information here is a panel and funding is another panel. So these panels works like templates. So we have as I said, a vast amount of different functions that is organized in these panels / templates that we use when we meet new customers or even existing customers. So for example, in project information, you normally have used that when you start up a project. You can enter the project name, but also project type, for example, this is a project with external funding and the faculty. But these panels are also very flexible, so you can change the content. Here's some other examples of this pre-developed panels for the higher education sector. For example, there's a panel for funding to manage different funders and how much, of course, they are sharing to the project. Here's a panel for project income, so you can also track and have that information transparency when it comes to the payment of the fundings. And finally, here's another other panels, for example, the planned budget, or we have a graph with actual and planned data, so you can compare that actually maybe the spending actually is used according to plan. So there's different set of templates / panels that you can use within this sector. All right, that was my short introduction. Hypeen portfolios for higher education institutions. And now I will leave over to you, Kimmo, to continue with your very interesting story about Metropolia University.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. I will try to take over the sharing. Let's see how it works.
I can see it now.
Okay, perfect. Yes, thanks again for this opportunity to share with you some experiences on project portfolio management that we have had in Metropolia University of Applied Sciences. My name is Kimmo Virta. I work as an R&D manager in the Metropolia Research Development and Innovation Organization. Here's what I have planned to share with you this morning. I'll start with a brief introduction of Metropolia as an organization, and then I'll share some of the challenges we had in project portfolio management earlier. And then I will a little bit show you how we work today, or since 2020 May, 5 years now, in project portfolio management. And I will also then pull up some highlights, benefits of using the portfolio tool, concrete things that have helped us in doing this. And then I will end with a brief summary of key success factors that have been kind of enablers in our journey towards more professional project portfolio management. Very briefly about Metropolia, we are the largest University of Applied Sciences in Finland. We have 4 education fields: business, culture, healthcare and social services, and technology, including construction. We have a little bit more than 1,100 people employed, of which more than 600 are full-time teaching staff. Some 41,000 students, of which 18,000 are degree students, and the rest are either doing some open UAS studies or participate in continuing education and business services that we also offer. We are formally a limited company owned by the municipalities around Helsinki area, and last year we had a turnover of roughly 130 million. 4 education fields, technology and healthcare and social services are clearly the biggest. They offer 85 degree programs, 24 in English, and roughly 18,000 degree students. Moving on to the project portfolio management, for your benefit, I thought of starting by showing you a picture of our last year project portfolio, some figures. The research, development, and innovation projects are clearly increasing in number and also in value. You can see there on the top right-hand corner the number of projects from beginning of 24, end of 24. We also have education development projects. I will go into this more in detail, how we use the portfolio in both of these. There, the increase is not as clear perhaps, but there's a little trend there as well. Altogether, some 330 projects, just to give you an idea of the size of our portfolio. About 50% of our personnel is involved in project work, namely 500 employees. And we do have a strategic aim to increase the direct external project funding. So especially in the RDI portfolio, we have, relatively ambitious targets. Moving on to what has changed, or what were the challenges that we faced in project portfolio management earlier. I already mentioned that 5 years ago we changed the way we worked, and I will come to that in the next section. But first, what were the challenges? Where did we start? First of all, we had several challenges, starting from the funding applications for individual projects being initiated in various parts of the organization independently with little or no coordination. The process of making no-go decisions was not clear. We did not have visibility to projects under preparation practically on the portfolio level at all. Then when it happened that we were granted some funding, the projects were executed in numerous different ways. Very little uniform practices there. The project hours were not booked on time, which resulted in a kind of hockey stick effect towards the end of the year, meaning that we had a quiet first half, busy second half. Not in the amount of work, but not in the amount of booked hours. Due to that, also the project cost was accumulated late. So later than compared to when the work was done. And we had no transparency onto how the project execution was proceeding, and that was, of course, one of the reasons for the difficulties there regarding project hours and project cost. I'm afraid that these are only a few of the challenges that we had earlier. But then 5 years ago, we made a decision to both change the way we work in project portfolio management, also in project management, meaning individual projects, as well as how we how we follow the project portfolios and how we guide them. And at the same time, in May 2020, we implemented a new way of working, supported by a new tool, which is the portfolio tool, then provided by Thinking Portfolio, now part of Hypergene offering. And how we work today, I have a few slides on that, so bear with me. First of all, we now have, or since 5 years, we've had a standardized process for making go/no-go decisions. There's an illustration of the process on the top of this slide. I will not bother you with details there. The one process is adjusted to different sizes of projects by 3 complexity levels, meaning A, large projects, C, small, simple projects, and so on. The emphasis on the whole process is to facilitate the application of external project funding, and of course then to spend the money that was granted. We have predefined decision forms, you could call them checklists as well, at the process decision gates, and all the gate decisions, in other words, go/no-go decisions, are made and stored in one system in the portfolio SAS platform. And what do we do there in the platform then? We have one tool for project portfolio management, and it is used also for individual project management. All externally funded projects are managed in one system. This is a great advantage. The portfolio tool is parameterized to support Metropolia process. In other words, the process that I showed in the previous slide. So the tool has been parameterized to support that. We have actually 2 project portfolios within the same system, one for research, development, and innovation projects, and another one for education development projects. We use filtering the project's key information to split the portfolio into more manageable sub-portfolios, so that all the 330 projects would be very difficult to handle, but we use project key information to split it into smaller entities. Portfolio level monthly status updates are used regularly by traffic light indicators, updated by the project managers with automatic reminders from the system. We have a one-page summary in use for regular project follow-up, so individual project follow-up. And there are several customized portfolio reports for monitoring, for example, project hours, comparing planned and actual, and the project financials, so actual versus budget. And all this has increased the transparency enormously in our project portfolio management. Halli is the name of our portfolio management tool. Halli is a kind of seal. There's an illustration of it. I think it's called Östersjösjäl in Swedish. One of the very, very crucial success factors in our story are the integrations from and to the portfolio management tool towards other IT systems. I will not go through in detail what this picture shows, but for your benefit, it can be viewed in the recording. So these automatic integrations are really crucial for having the data up to date. The portfolio management is all piled up on how the individual projects are managed and how their information is put into a system and kept updated. So in project management, meaning individual projects, we have in the system the key features such as scope and objectives of the projects stored in the platform, the project results, both target and achieved. The scheduling and resourcing is done in the same system. Booking and approval of project hours is also done in the same system. We put in the project budgets. We bring in the actual financials from our accounting system, and we do the progress reporting of individual projects as well in the same system. And then we have customized reports for following up the individual projects for the help of project managers, for example, such as project hours, again planned versus actual, and project financials. The project manager gets always up-to-date information on his or her project financials from the same system. Another crucial success factor is the project management roles. Nothing unique here. We have the typical project organization roles, like project owners. Project preparer is a kind of project manager who takes care of the first 3 phases of our portfolio management process, and then the responsibility moves over to the project manager when the project execution starts. We have a dedicated accounting specialist on each project, and of course there's a project team and project steering group as well when needed. And there are some line organization roles that participate in portfolio management mentioned there at the bottom of this slide. And that picture illustrates when each of these project organization roles are active as our process flows further. But nothing really unique here, very typical, I would say. One more thing, emphasizing the first three stages of our stage gate model or our process. They are meant to or facilitating the application of external funding. So the first gate, three gates, P0, P1, and P2, they are about handling the external funding. These are, of course, the portfolio management decisions at the same. So whenever there's a decision to go, that means that there's potentially a new project later on appearing into our portfolio. The whole decision-making process is run within our portfolio management tool Innehåll. And the funding information there on individual projects is collected into one view or one tab in the user interface, where all the relevant information regarding the funding, the funder, budget, actual cost, etc. is appearing. Okay, now after 5 years, what have we gained? I can honestly say that we are in a completely different position now as compared to where we were 5 years ago when we started using the portfolio tool. I will show you or highlight some of the benefits. This is not covering everything, of course, but some of the most important benefits. Then again, there's a lot of room for improvement still, but what we have gained so far is for example, full transparency to all projects under preparation from the beginning inside one tool. That makes the portfolio decisions possible. So the portfolio decisions or go no-go decisions, they are made on time and according to a structure. The progress of project execution has become visual on the portfolio level, so it has become possible to lead. Project execution hours are booked on time. Project costs accumulate at the pace with the project work. Hours and costs are visible inside the same tool with easy access. We have the regular progress follow-up in place for the whole portfolio as well as for individual projects. And all this has led us to being able to utilize close to 100% of the granted funds, which has, of course, a big effect on Metropolia financials. And of course, looking forward with our growth targets, had we not had this in place, it would not be such, it wouldn't make such sense to try to increase the volume. But I think now we have the basis there to really excel. And then I want to end with a brief, very brief summary of some key success factors which have been crucial to in our journey so far. And one is the one project model or one standardized way of working both on project portfolio management and also in the individual project management. The clear roles and responsibilities are definitely one of the most important enablers. One clear process and one tool with integrations to other IT systems. This is also extremely important in order to be sure that the information that we are looking at in the portfolio tool is up to date. Should there be doubts on that, there would be doubts on everything regarding the portfolio management. So that was my presentation this morning. I'd be happy to answer questions either now or should you have questions later on. There's also my email address, and of course hygiene specialists are the ones who know best about the portfolio tool itself and how it will be implemented in customer cases. But that was what I wanted to share with you. Thanks again for the opportunity.
Very good, Kimmo. I just have one curious question about the name Halli. Why why are you using that name?
It doesn't have really a great etymology behind it. So we had a name contest, and that got most votes. So
okay, then I understand. That's the story itself, though. Okay, so now we have completed 2 parts of the webinar. Now it's time for some demo of the product as the final end. And I will continue with that. So before we go into the system live, I want to also mention that Hyping Portfolios is a very flexible and easy to use system. I'll show you some of the panels we have, but we have over 800 panels in total. All are not addressed to the higher education institutions, but a huge chunk are. But it's also an easy to use system, and we are receiving very good feedback from our internal surveys, but also when we have external providers doing the surveys, we always get good rating. And the last rating, the NPS survey we did, we was done on Hyping Portfolios, gave us a rating of 65, which actually stands for excellent, and that's something we are proud of. All right, live demo. As I mentioned in the introduction, I will go through some of the parts that Kim has talked about, but in my generic demo environment. So we're going to first see how it could look in overview of all projects, the transparency. We will also do some filtering. Kim was talking about filtering in sub-portfolios. I will do some filtering. We will see the status reporting that Kim was talking about with some traffic lights, and I will show you how it's been done, and also the one pager that was mentioned as well. So I will start up with that first, and to give you some concrete perception of the look and feel of Hyping Portfolios. So I hope you see my screen now when I have selected the live system, right? Good. So what we see here is an overview of many different projects. So you can see on this level is a menu bar here. This is the portfolio menu bar, which I can navigate to have more aggregated data of the project portfolio. I have projects and programs, which is works to be done. And then I have the portfolio that can work like a grouping entity. In this case, I have in my demo environment, it could be IT portfolio here, or it could be like profitability. So this is organized around certain strategic objectives. So I can have different way of organizing my portfolios. So this is a good overview. You can imagine 300 projects or plus, as it was in Metropolia. And you need to see, okay, how many of these projects are now in for example, execution implementation phase. Oh, then you can have this information. You can have this information extracted as PDF and Excel. You can even send links. And maybe you want to drill down into see, okay, I want to see, okay, certain like IT portfolios, or even I can show you some other, let me see, I will go to, I have this show all from the beginning. So first phase, I had some setting, and then I want to maybe see the R&D portfolio that was excluded in my first. And now I actually have projects in the R&D portfolio in the phase execution implementation. So this is quickly to get information and insights about the project landscape without asking a lot of people. And now actually I can go into each of these projects to get more information about the status. Another topic was status reporting. And as you can see on this overview, I have an overall status here. So for example, for this project, which means a new course, communication theory based on Gregory Bateson, then we see that it's being green, and there is an arrow going down, and it's red. I can click on this icon, and now I actually will open up the project menu bar. So now I am in this project that's going to develop a new course. And I have this panel called situation. And here I have reported previously in April, green on all different parameters, which also is customizable. And now it's red. So if I change now to green, I just click like this. So it's very easy, and I can save. I can also edit other information. So if I go back now to the portfolio view, I still have my filtering, but now it's green and the arrow is showing that it's the same as previous period. And on the right-hand side here, I have a one pager, which is pre-developed for every customer as a template. I can click on that one, and now it will actually open up this status report with the information of the parameters, but also other information that the project manager or the preparer might have been added. I can also have information about the budget and forecasts and actuals and so forth. Let's move back to my PowerPoint. I will also show you about the project model and the no-go decisions, how that looks like in the system, and also connection to the checklists. We also go through the classification in more complex and easy projects that Kim was talking about. There's also templates for that. We're still back on this view where we have the R&D portfolio and the projects are in execution implementation. I continue from that selection or filtering. We go back on this page called project status within the project menu. We were checking the situation panel just recently, but on the left-hand side, we have a schedule panel as well, where I have the project model. And this could be the project model of Metropolia University, but here I have my standard one. But it is phases and it has gates. And here you can see some decision gates, and there is a planned date for the decision gates. I know there's a lot of customers also having actual dates, so they can compare when it was planned for the gate decision, when it actually happened, the gate decision. And that gives also you, on a portfolio level, a good information about if this project is late or not. You can also build in approval processes. In this case, we can see who the approval person is. And there's some checklist. Kim was also talking about some forms and checklist that is connected to each decision. And those can be edited by you yourself, and it could be checklist for the decision itself, but it can also be checklist that is or forms that defines things that should have happened, that you need to control that things are done, or things should be done to prepare next phase, and so forth. I know some has forms that help them to do some introspection and feedback loops. For example, what went well, what didn't went so well, what can we improve to next time. So you can have different checklists and forms in this gate points of the projects. All right, so that's also about the project model, decision, and all this decision is kept in the system. So let's now go back for the final one. It was about the complexity and ABC classification. I will add, this is a standard functionality of IP portfolios. So I now just added this to my table with ABCD. It says classification. So if I go into the same project, I click on A here, I open up this form that I actually can fill in. This is also a template. So this is a standard template, but you can change the content to address it to your specific needs when it comes to complexity, for example. And if I now save, when I changed, it's now is a B class. I can change also manually if I would like, but you can hide that if you don't want the project manager to be able to do so. And now we see it's changed to B and also to change the color. That was a quick demo from my side, and I know we have at least some minutes left for Q&A. So I now leave back to you, Elin, and thank you all for listening to me and also to Kimmo.
Thank you very much, Kimmo and Patrick, for a very good overview. We actually have got some questions, and I have one directly to you both. Can you tell a bit more about the implementation process of this portfolio? How time-consuming was it?
Maybe you should start, Kimmo. I can only speak from a generic perspective. So maybe how was it for you? That's very interesting to hear.
Yes, I saw the question also there. In our case, from the decision to start cooperation with Thinking Portfolio, then now Hypergene. So from the purchase decision, it took in calendar time, it took 8 months for us to prepare the implementation of the system. It could have been done, I think, in half the time had we not decided to make all the integrations to other IT systems that we wanted to have. And there it was our own organization who consumed the time, not the supplier. So I think it could have been done in half, maybe 3-4 months. And then at the same, we also prepared in parallel with the implementation preparation for the system, we also prepared our own instructions and process guidelines and all that for the way of working, so for the project model, as we had decided to take these both on at the same time. So there was quite a lot of other work we had to do in parallel with the actual tool implementation. So calendar-wise, 8 months. In the amount of work, I, as a project manager, spent maybe half of my time on preparing the implementation, and maybe the rest to other things. And I worked more than the whole project team together. So it is not very time consuming regarding the resource point of view. But I think you should reserve calendar time. And my advice to anyone who considers this is that if you do not have a clear way of working, meaning the process and the roles and all that, you need to establish that first or at the same time. Otherwise, the tool will not solve your organizational issues. So
Thank you.
That's what I would say from our experience.
Thank you, Kimmo. Yeah, so we would actually say that the project portfolio implementation time is normally 2.5 to 3 months. So very good. So I understand that you had some mainly structured over there. Do you want to say anything about that, Patrick?
No, not really. I mean, it all depends on if the customer is already ready with their process. It goes much faster, of course. If they're using some standard integration, it'll also go much faster. Or if we have done the integration before, so we have already this experience. So it's various from, we say that the normal from our side, a consultancy time is 150 hours in general. But that could be 150 hours can be spent on many months depending on the customer situation. We are flexible and we are trying to do this very iterative when we work, so we can make the customer start working as soon as possible so they can start generate benefits within the organization. That's the basic idea.
So we have actually gained some more questions, but we are over time. So I'm thinking that maybe we need to get back to them direct instead. And maybe you can switch screen, Patrick.
Yes, to what?
No, slide, just change slide.
Okay.
Good. So I would also like to give you some tips on that you can follow us on LinkedIn, and also if you like, you can book a demo where we can actually provide you more in this direct here as well. I will put both of these links where you can find them here in the chat. Otherwise, we would like to say thank you again to both Patrick and Kimmo, and to everyone who has actually stayed here and started this morning with us. So thank you very much, and we will wish you a pleasant, happy day.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Kim, for an excellent presentation.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.